Welcome back one and all to Trails to Azure. I'm the TheDarkSeraph. Last time, shit got real. Mayor Croix has just declared himself president. I don't remember if I read it or not. It's clear I have it, if nothing else. So we're going to go to the Bracer Guild and figure out what the fuck's going on. I'm with the wrong way. We're going to the Bracer Guild to figure out just what the hell is going on. Pardon us. Sorry for interrupting. That's a good thumbnail shot. Well, look at what the cat dragged in. Hey there, SSS. Jeez, if you guys clenched any harder, you'd snap yourselves in two. Normally, I'd tell you to mind your own damn business. But there's no denying it. Why would Arios just up and leave? I'm still in shock. Never once did I suspect he'd do something like this. I suppose the only real hint was that he'd been visiting Orcus Tower more frequently lately. Right, I thought he was just going there to discuss the guild's plans for the future. Bird. 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 Shush. Do you want another millet spray? Do you want another millet spray? Boy, that perks you up, didn't it? I'll put a fresh one in there in just a little bit, okay? I'm in the middle of something. Let me finish this and I'll get you a fresh one. Instead, he was off rubbing elbows and shaking hands with his employer-to-be. Actually, that's what we came here to talk about. Bird. Do I need to get the blanket to cover that? Shush. Please. Be patient. You plump little pigeon. Hey! Don't backtalk me. Is Arios still considered a member of the guild? No. He suddenly handed in his resignation last night along with his badge. In typical Arios fashion, he finished up all of his requests just prior. He even included an outline of how the guild should proceed going forward. Prepared as ever. Arios did always seem to be the methodical man. Methodical. Still, his resigning without notice is more than just a minor inconvenience. What's more, he's been installed as the state's Secretary of Defense, the Commander-in-Chief of the newly formed Crossbell Defense Force. It terrifies me to think of what Arabonia's response to this will be. Especially considering the message the government sent them by freezing their international assets. Shush back there. Calvert's reaction will be no less frightening. You can be sure of that. Still, it's not like I don't understand the way Arios feels about all this. Scott? What's that supposed to mean? Well, Crossbellian blood runs through my veins just like his. Those inexplicable incidents mentioned in the address used to happen several times a year. That much is a fact. I don't know what the truth is, but deep down, every citizen in the state suspects the Empire or the Republic is behind them. Well, to be fair, there haven't been any accidents like that in some time. I think the last 5 years ago, the one Shizuku and Saya, Arios' wife, were caught up in. By accident, do you mean the truck explosion from half a decade ago? The prevailing theory is that the orbital engine malfunctioned, igniting the flammable cargo on board. But it never did sit right. As a result, the accident, poor Saya lost her life, and little Shizuku her sight. So that's how it happened. We have heard small portions of this story already, but the entirety of it is hard to take in. That must be why Arios quit the CPD and took up the supporting gauntlet. I've come to know Arios quite well since he joined, and yet he never mentioned a word about the incident. It must have been weighing on him all these years. Taking that into account, I can see why he accepted such an important position. Michael, forgive me for asking, but have you noticed anything suspicious about Arios' schedule up until now? Huh? What do you mean, Lloyd? Commander-in-Chief of the Defense Force. A heavy responsibility like that isn't the sort of thing you agree to on a whim. Can you stop your... Don't flutter at me. You need to shush. Wouldn't it make more sense if he had been laying the groundwork with the mayor, or rather President Croyce, this entire time? This would go back further than we realize. The last few weeks, maybe more. That sigh, are you saying you think he's right? It's true that there were occasional conflicts of location in his reports. I figured they were just human error, considering the absurd number of requests he was handling. And now that I think about it, he isn't the type to make those kinds of mistakes so carelessly. So each of those times, he was actually meeting with President Croyce. That's a pretty safe assumption at this point. Honestly, Lloyd, your detective skills are so on the nose, it's almost scary. Thanks. Though I'm sorry I'm putting Arios in a bad light here. But while I'm at it, I may as well ask you another point-blank question. It's about the descriptions between Arios' schedule and the locations he reported. Do you remember any instances of that from more than half a year ago? Why that far back specifically? Wouldn't that be even earlier than when Mr. Croyce became mayor? Well, I doubt my memory is that good, but there was this one time. What exactly? It was the final day of the anniversary festival. He was supposed to travel to Rimaferia on official guild business, but he suddenly canceled at the last second. He didn't even bother to notify us. Really? I pressed him on the issue once I finally caught wind of it, but all he told me was that he had been too busy to make a report. Why would you ask, though? Do you think it could be related? I don't know about that. The anniversary festival is probably the busiest time of year for us. It would be perfectly understandable to overlook a single report. The last day of the festival. That was the day of the auction. You think those two are connected? I don't know yet, but my gut is telling me they are. We've been so busy that we've let too many fine details pass us by. I have to take this. Crossbell Police Department Special Support Huh? Don't you mean Crossbell Defense Force Special Support Section? Is this who I think it is? Ha. Could be the mystery man on the phone possibly be? Guess right, and you could win yourself a grand prize. A shiny, brand new... I've had enough of your pointless shenanigans. What are you doing back in Crossbell? No, don't be like that. I thought we were pals. I know things have been going off the rails, but could you spare some time in person to chat? I'm sure it'll be worth your while. Fine, where do you want to meet? How about Crimson and Company? You know, the old Revanche compound? Let's rendezvous at the Don's old office. The basement. Got it. See you there, buddy. Lecter! Was that Sal? Was he hiding out something? He did contact us last time after Randy went missing. Seriously? It wasn't him. It was Captain Arundel of the Imperial Army. What? Him again? You are right to ask what he was doing coming back to Crossbell. Nothing good, that's for sure. He's got balls showing his face around here, I'll give him that. He said he wanted to speak with us at the old compound. Given his ties with the Red Constellation, we can't be too careful. Still, I think it's in our best interest to hear him out. I guess so. The risk is worth it. Probably going to confirm that the Imperial government had nothing to do with the burning of Crossbell. I do think we should fully prepare ourselves before going, though. Okay, so... I don't trust Lecter as far as I can throw him. I want to make sure I've got the best weapons I can equip on these four. I already own one of those. Oh, I never modified that, did I? So let's go to the downtown district and modify that weapon really quick. I think I ran out of money and just forgot to upgrade it. That's a likely explanation. That's the wrong... There's no one posted here anymore. Imagine the department had the foresight to lock up the building before they left. In other words, our favorite fly on the wall probably picked the lock. Never mind that, we should head on inside. It's already open. He should be further ahead. Watch your step. It's time to find out what this is all about. I don't trust Lecter. And I have very good reason to not trust him. I want to make sure I have all my quests turned in. Yeah. And they mentioned there were no new support requests. Still a dickhead, I see. Sup, guys? You working hard lately? Working hard or hardly working? That's honestly also a good thumbnail shot. Glad to see you had the decency to show up without inviting the defense force. Like, that is a good thumbnail shot, I'm not gonna lie. Don't take that as a sign as that we won't drag you out of here in cuffs. We know you had something to do with the Red Constellation's actions. There's no use pretending otherwise. Enough with the song and dance. How about you tell us what you're doing here in Crossbell? Or better yet, where the hell my uncle and the rest of the Constellation are? You would know the Imperial government is their contractor, and you are the point of contract, are you not? Sal mentioned that they weren't involved in this. Like, who is your contractor this time? Sal knew that somebody else held the paperwork. Alright, settle down, kiddos. One question at a time. First off, I took the early train from the Empire here just this morning. Old Man Gilead's orders, if it weren't that obvious. The Blood and Iron Chancellor. For what purpose? Well, before I get into that, there's a little nugget of information I think you guys would want to know first. The Imperial Army is planning to invade Crossbell this afternoon. What? We're not falling for that. Actually, I wouldn't doubt it. The way things are headed, he might just be telling the truth for once. They're going to go straight through Belgard Gate. Yep, there's an armored division ready to go at Gorelia Fortress. It's just one, sure, but I think you know how it'll go. They've got the Empire's latest tanks with all the bells and whistles. Crossbell's armored cars are going to get kicked around like tin cans. We have to report this immediately to the defense force. No point. It's not like they don't know already. We sent an official notice to the state government about it this a while ago. But good old Dieter decided to keep our assets hostage at the IBC anyway, and he went and crowned himself president. I mean, freezing their assets could be seen as an act of war. Croyce really should have seen a harsh retaliation coming. You know, with the burning of IBC, maybe the government had something to do with it. It's like, how stupid can you be? They couldn't possibly stop an invasion from the Imperial Army. Or can they? That's why I'm in Crossbell. Hey, any of you seen Dieter's game here? What good is appointing Arios as the Commander-in-Chief of the Defense Force going to do against these guys? I'm not sure. Arios is the strongest swordsman we know, but he's still just one man. Even he couldn't match up to a tank. Probably. Could it be they have some kind of trump card up their sleeve? Perhaps they reached some sort of compromise with the Republic to keep the Imperial Army in check. If that were the case, the President wouldn't have been so critical of them in his address, at least on the official report. He must be planning to confront Calvert as well. That's exactly right. Kalika. Called it. Your Kalika. As beautiful as ever. A pleasure to see you again, SSS. Seriously, she is a very pretty woman. Looks kind of like your Forger from Spy X Family now that I think about it. With that hairband and the hair color, there is a similarity. And to you as well, Captain Arundel. I do apologize for my tardiness. Don't sweat it. We're just getting started. So how are things going on your end? Smoothly, more or less. As of now, an armored aviation division has been deployed to the outskirts of Altair. The Republican Army is on the move too. An armored aviation division. You mean they're ready to attack from both the sky and the ground? Correct. It's a unit equipped with the latest high-mobility tank models as well as military airships. They are by far the most maneuverable division within the Republican Army. You've got to be shitting me. That makes this a pincer attack from both major powers. Between a rock and a hard place, to say the least. It doesn't take a political pundit to understand what brought about this situation. Even so, Dieter Croix refused to compromise, opting instead for drastic action. What he intends by it, however, is just about anyone's guess. There's one more piece to this little puzzle we've got going. So here, I'll go ahead and answer the second question you had. You know where the constellation is? Yeah, it's a pretty simple answer. You ready? I don't know. No one does. Not even the Imperial government has any clue. That can't be. Why spend so much time building up a response just to admit you never had one? So what? You're telling us that you had them tear Crossbell inside out and just let them off the leash? Hold on a second. We know the Red Constellation had a contract with the Imperial government at the time of the trade conference. They were hired to kill the terrorists who were targeting the Chancellor's life. And they did a damn good job of doing that. I'm still going to stand by it that they were in the right to do that. The burning of Crossbell is another matter entirely. Isn't that right? Bingo! I guess you must have heard it straight from the military monster's mouth. This is just a hunch, but could it be the Imperial government's contract had ended with them the moment the terrorists were out of the picture? So it wasn't the Imperials. It wasn't Erebonia. Who the fuck hired them? That would mean I don't like where this is going. I'm not going to lie, Lloyd. That detective nose of yours would be pretty useful in my line of work. If only you were a bit rougher around the edges. Then I was right. Nail right on the head. The Imperial government hasn't had any contact with the Constellation since the trade conference. I thought it was pretty weird that they didn't pack up and leave Crossbell as soon as our contract was over. Even I was shocked they decided to paint the town red the way they did. Then why would Sigmund and the others pull something like this? Could they have signed a new contract with the Society, perhaps? That's possible. Could also be Calvard. I find that unlikely. During the Liberal incident, the Society had a fleet of foot soldiers they referred to as the Enhanced Jaegers. Yeah, and Gilbert is one of those Enhanced Jaegers, and he's what's a nice way of putting Gilbert? Pathetic. They were to launch a full-scale attack on Crossbell. I'm certain they would have used what is already at their disposal. That would make more sense. In other words, there would be no need for them to outsource the job to another corps. Then let's narrow down the list of suspects. Given the circumstances, it would only be natural to assume that the attack was ordered by the Imperial government. Which is a misconception our guilty party stands to benefit from. Moreover, they would also need funds to enter a long-term contract with one of the highest-ranking corps on the continent. It can't be. Sounds like you got the pick. Sure. There's no way in hell Dieter Croix would pay the Constellation to burn Crossbell. At times, the truth can be found in the very last place you wish it to be. Hold on just a moment. Are you two suggesting? There's only one suspect we know that ticks all the boxes. We shouldn't jump to conclusions. Lecter, Kalika, thank you for telling us this. I know this is a difficult spot given your positions. We'll take it from here. We should... Banding special support section. Thank goodness, it finally went through. Lloyd, it's Cecil. Cecil? You sound frantic. What's going on? It's Arios. He came to the SSS building just now. Arios was there? Yes, and then he took Kia away with him. What? I tried to stop him, but Kia, she... Actually, this will be easier to explain in person. Could you come back as soon as you can? We'll be right there, Cecil. Just stay put and wait for us. Arios, I'm gonna kick your fucking ass. What's going on? You look like you just saw a ghost. Arios went to the SSS building and took Kia away with him. The hell? Why would he do such a thing? I don't know, but I'm gonna beat the answers out of him. We have to get back to the building right away. Kalika, Lecter, sorry, but we have urgent business to take care of. Of course. Be careful. Good luck, guys. Ugh. I guess that little ankle biter really was the key to everything. You think they'll make it in time? Perhaps. Though I can't imagine it will prove an easy task. Cecil. Lloyd. Tell us what happened to Kia. You said she was taken by Arios. It's true. Arios came by, all dressed up in his new uniform. He said that he'd come to pick her up, and she just nodded. That's who she called earlier. You're kidding. You mean Keto went with him willingly? That's the way it seemed to be. I thought it was strange that she would leave without letting any of you know. I tried to stop her, but Kia told me that it was fine. Zeit was agitated, but Kia's words seemed to calm him down. Well, it's a good thing that, well, he's a good boy. He was protective of her. Speaking of Zeit, he doesn't seem to be around. He wandered off on his own after those two left. I assume he was trying to follow them, but I couldn't be sure. What in the world is happening? Could it be that she had plans with Shizuku today? I thought that might be the case, but it didn't appear to be. From what Arios said, it seemed as if they were heading to Michelin. Michelin. He mentioned having a boat prepared. Where else could the destination be if not the resort? Michelin has been on lockdown the last few days. Why would he choose to take her there of all places? Because it's on lockdown, it's protected. Something's definitely off. We should follow them, Lloyd. Yeah, we have to secure a boat for ourselves. Sorry, Cecil, but could you look after the place a little bit longer? We're going to chase them down. Of course, be careful. I didn't like the look on Kia and Arios' faces. They seemed solemn. Whatever it is they're doing, it must be gravely serious. We have to find them and get to the bottom of this. Well, I'm about to whip somebody's ass. I'm glad we managed to secure a police boat. As far as I'm aware, Michelin has been completely sealed off. Most of the staff of the theme park and the resort have also left. We can't rule out that they might be headed for the wetlands. But either way, the safe bet is heading for Michelin first. Did you manage to get a hold of Maribel? No, I haven't been able to reach her for days. The aftermath of the attack on the IBC must be keeping her workload heavy. Putting her aside. Do you think what Kalika and that jackass Lecter told us was true? You refer to the possibility of the culprit behind the raid not being Arabonia, but rather our mayor-turned-president, Dieter Croix. Lloyd, please don't worry for my sake. I admitted I'm concerned that I haven't been able to contact my grandfather since yesterday, but I did manage to get in touch with Helmer. He said there's a possibility he's being detained at Orcus Tower. Detained? That bodes poorly. Not exactly an innocent verdict, huh? No, it isn't. Once you started thinking of Mayor Croyce as the one pulling the strings behind these incidents, then things started to fall into place. Maybe too well into place. That would make the Red Constellation and the Society not invading forces, but collaborators that he hired. Then there's Wald's demonization. Even the cult incidents would have been part of his master plan. I don't think Dieter had anything to do with the cult. The rest line up. The D, therefore G? Okay, Wald is one thing, but you think he had ties to Johann? I really don't think so. Bird! Dathan! This is serious, Bird. Please shush. I will give you a fresh millet spray after I'm done recording. Now shush. I don't want to believe it. To be fair, I doubt they would have had any direct connection to one another. From Johann's words and behavior, I have no doubt he was the mastermind behind the incident he caused in May. But we can't completely discount the possibility that he might have been manipulated without even knowing it. The mystery of who moved Kia from the Sun Fort was never solved either. Someone had to sneak her into the Swar's auction. And whoever it was, they weren't just some Joe Schmo. Somebody highly skilled in stealth and well, not necessarily stealth, but infiltration would have had a very easy time doing that, like the Constellation. That mafia was all over the shindig. Whoever did it was on the level of yin, or an enforcer. Lloyd Banning, Special Support Section speaking. About damn time I got through. Yona? Put me on speaker. Tio's got to hear this. It's Yona. Yona. Alright, I'm switching now. Has something happened, Yona? No, I just wanted to chat. Of course something's happened! It's Crossbow's orbital net. I found something prowling on it, and it's one hell of a monster. Monster. What are you talking about? At first, I found this really weird data structure stored on the fringes of the network. I couldn't make heads or tails of the array, so I wrote it off as garbage. But after digging a little deeper, I found out it was running a scooped-up version of the code that Society was using. The Astral Code. Would that make the data you found another trap laid by the Society? I doubt it. That data's been online for about 5 whole years. That's basically as old as Crossbow's orbital network itself. It is. It was the IBC that procured the establishment of the orbital network to the state government. Ever since then, the Foundation's technology has become commonplace in Crossbell, and the IBC has only gotten more and more involved. It's gotten to the point where the IBC knows the network structure inside and out. The only thing that could be... Yona, you referred to this code as a monster just now. What exactly is it going to do? What do you think I've been trying to analyze this whole time? I can say this much for sure. Although it's huge, the scope of the system could cover the entire orbital network. The crazy part is, it's like it's built to correlate with another system, like a real one. A real one? You mean real as in physical, something that's not on the orbital network. Yeah. It includes every sector of the geofront. They built some kind of device that links them to Orcus Tower before rerouting them all to Michelin. Kia. Michelin. What a goddamn coincidence. I'm going to get back to picking this thing apart. I'll call you when I know more. I don't know what you guys are up to, but watch your backs out there. I know they call it a network for a reason, but this is like having a damn spider web under the city. It's hard to say that such a large-scale system could possibly be used for. But there's only one person I can think of outside the Foundation or Society capable of creating it. We have to keep pressing forward. Kia and Arios are waiting for us there, as well as the answers we're looking for. Shit is getting real. There's Arios' boat. bell tolls. Isn't that the one on top of the Castle of Mirrors? I believe so. Check out the water too. It's got some kind of weird shimmer to it. You know what's going on, Teotot? The spiritual energy in the atmosphere is rising. It appears to be emanating from the direction of the theme park. Just like the bell. I'm willing to bet that's where we'll find Arios and Kia. Well, we're going to be doing that next time on Trails to Azure. Join me then as we confirm what I really don't want confirmed. But until then, I'm the Dark Seraph, signing off. Goodbye.